Mommy, I want his water bottle.
You there! Give my son your water bottle, now!
r/EntitledParents. Our first story we'll be reading today. How to Get Me to Hate the Gym. I Won't Take Entitled Mom's Money for a Water Bottle. From user Mr. Whiffy Reddit. After that,
Surely the no kids rule doesn't include my kid.
After that, Entitled Parent Thinks Dog Hurt Her Kid. From user RoosterBlue72. And then we'll be wrapping up with Entitled Brat Won't Move. Gets a face full of manure. Then accidentally get entitled mother. From user JediHack1. Thank you so much to our authors for letting us read your stories. And if you're an author who would like me to read your stories next, please submit them to the r/Mr. Reddit subreddit. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for new stories from Reddit every single day. How to Get Me to Hate the Gym. I Won't Take Entitled Mom's Money for a Water Bottle. I've been stalking this subreddit for a bit because I really didn't know how people got into these messes, but now I get it. So, we have a cast. We've got me. We've got Entitled Mom. We've got Entitled Kids 1 and 2. We've got the employee, the manager, and the gym goer. Context. So, I'm 16, and my mother has been going to a certain gym about 5 years now. And about 2 months ago, I started tagging along. She goes to her Zumba class for an hour, and I do whatever. The gym recently went under a mega renovation that added a kids zone, and most people leave their kids there. This matters. Along with the kids zone, they added a half-hour circuit you can do, full of equipment for a full-body workout. Another important detail is that I carry 2 hydro flasks. One is for water, and the other is for water mixed with a weight loss tablet. The weight loss tablet one is a bright blue, gradient to white, and then red with a star graphic I got a few months back from an event for our school. So, I'm at the circuit. It's around 6:45 p.m., and I'm on the elliptical. And Entitled Mom is 2 machines down on another machine. Entitled Kid is sitting on the couch next to the circuit on Entitled Mom's iPhone XS Max. He's chillin' and eyeing my gradient hydro flask. I don't blame him. I love my bottle. Eventually, Entitled Mom gets off the circuit and heads to Entitled Kid. I was still going, listening to the Gus and Eddie podcast.
Excuse me?
Yes, ma'am?
My son was just wondering where you bought that bottle.
Oh, I got it a few months ago at an event. The bottle is custom made. At this point, I hear Entitled Kid whine in the background. He really wants this water bottle.
Oh, well, my son really wants the bottle. I'll pay you $20.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I can't sell it. It's one of a kind, and I personally really like it.
How about 30?
I'm sorry, but I'm not planning on selling it.
Look, my son really wants that bottle for himself. How much do you want?
I really appreciate the offer, but I really can't sell it. At this point, Entitled Mom got a little flustered, and Entitled Kid was starting to get a pouty face.
You already have 2. I know that you're a heavy kid, but you really don't need to.
In her defense, I'm 6'2" and 300 pounds. At this point, Entitled Mom softly placed her hand on the bottle. I stepped a little closer to her and the bottle. Entitled Kid was still in the back, pouty as ever.
Understand that my son isn't going to stop complaining about this until he gets one. Just make his day, and let him have your water bottle.
This is where I messed up with my words. In general, I try to stay respectful with adults, as of my large stature, I tend to quickly attract negative attention. I was trying to avoid conflict and was intent on walking away into the restroom with my bottle. Ma'am, that's an issue with you and your parenting style. I would really appreciate if you would just let me be.
You are stepping way out of bounds. You have no idea our situation at home or our finances. Give my son that bottle.
Entitled Mom's soft hold of my bottle turned into a snatch, as she turns back and gives Entitled Kid the bottle. Entitled Kid's pouty face disappears, and he giggles at my dumbfounded face. He twists off the cap and puts his whole mouth on the rim, taking a big gulp of my mango-flavored weight loss water. His face immediately recoils, and he spits out the water and yells in disgust. He tosses my bottle down onto the floor. This attracts the attention of a few gym goers as the bottle clangs on the floor, emptying out the yellow-tinted water. I audibly snicker at him freaking out, while I feel it is well justified. Entitled Mom doesn't think so. Thus, with the attention of a few gym goers, she begins to speak louder.
Are you laughing at my son's pain? My angel is choking, and you're just standing there laughing. You're awful. Leave me alone.
And she grabs her son and my bottle and storms off, her son still holding the cap as he cried. At this point, I really wanted to grab her and drag her to an employee, but I would definitely be stopped by the people around me. So I opted to run ahead of her and get to the employee at the front desk first. Meanwhile, one gym goer was on the side, watching everything. Employee. Is everything okay? I heard a bottle drop over by the circuit. No, that woman is trying to steal my water bottle, and she's leaving the gym. Entitled Mom tries to ignore employee as she power walks by. Employee steps out of her desk and stands in front of Entitled Mom. Employee coaxes Entitled Mom over to the desk where I'm standing. Employee says, So, OP, tell me what happened. This woman attempted to steal my water bottle after I told her several times that I did not want to give it to her or sell it to her.
That's not true. My son had it in his chair with him when he tried to take it, and he spilled it all over the floor. I tried to leave, but he blocked me and ran over to you.
Her voice sounded panicked and scared, so naturally, the employee believed her. Sir, you need to leave this woman alone. She clearly owns the bottle. I will not hesitate to call security. I didn't say anything. I just nodded quietly. I didn't want to cause more of a scene that had already happened. As Entitled Mom walked away, the gym goer just stepped by me in front of the desk. He was an older gentleman and spoke in an intense tone.
Ma'am, I can account for him. I saw the entire thing. She stole the bottle. It's his.
Entitled Mom, now flustered as ever, turned back and yelled,
Can't you leave me and my son alone?
Isn't there security cameras here? Employee says, Yes, but only manager has access. Would you like me to call him? Yes, please. As Entitled Mom goes on her phone angrily, Entitled Kid now crying harder and harder, I thank Gym Goer for his help, and God bless this man for saving my skin. Manager shows up. Hi, employee informed me what happened. I checked the security tapes, and ma'am, that is his water bottle. Please return it immediately, or we will call security. Finally, Entitled Mom returns my bottle reluctantly, but Entitled Kid still has my cap hidden away somewhere. I really don't care anymore. I'm just happy I have the bottle. And the bottle cap?
I don't know. It wasn't on me.
What about your son?
I just got him out of the kids zone. He doesn't have anything.
The manager knew she was lying and gave a stern look. Thus, Entitled Mom left promptly, but not before Entitled Kid dropped my cap on the floor. I could imagine at this point, Entitled Mom was so equally tired as me that she heard it fall but just kept walking. Finally, I had my bottle back, and I thanked the employee and manager and shook Gym Goer's hand. After my mother came out of her class, I had to explain everything to her, and she heard it from the manager. Since I'm a minor, they asked her if she wanted to do anything about it, and she said no. I went back to the circuit, grabbed my stuff and my other hydro flask, and left. Hopefully, I don't see her again. Next we've got,
Surely the no kids rule doesn't include my kid.
This story happened in the context of wedding planning, so I wasn't sure if it belongs here, but a member of my family definitely qualified as an entitled parent at that time, so I figured I'd share this with you. After my partner and I got engaged, we found a great venue in a beautiful part of the city my partner grew up in and set our hearts on it. We booked a date to have the wedding there, a little over a year away. There was a fairly strict limit on how many guests we could invite, max 78, since the dinner hall at this venue was quite small, but that was fine with us. However, when we began writing the guest list, it became clear quite quickly that we would need to put some rules in place to be comfortably inside the guest limit. A lot of our cousins have children, about 10 kids in total across all of them, which would have inflated the guest list very quickly. So we decided on a no kids rule. I should mention as well that in the country where we live, it is not at all unusual to have a kids-free wedding, but as I was about to find out, some people are not okay with this. I mentioned the no kids rule to several family members before sending out any official save the dates or invites, so they would be aware. Enter a member of my family, the entitled parent of this story. Entitled parent had a son who was about 6 months old at the time and was apparently mortified that we could have such a rule. It would mean that they would have to be separated from their kid, who would be 18 months old by the time the wedding came around, for all of a number of hours, and clearly we were horrendous humans for even considering asking that of them. So I get a phone call from another family member asking whether the no kids rule really applied to all kids and asking if we could make an exception for entitled parent because she was very upset. At this stage, entitled parent couldn't even be bothered to talk to us directly. Instead, they moaned to others in the family and seemed to paint us out to be pretty grim people. I explained that this was impossible due to how many kids there were in the family, and that we were not willing to remove 10 of our closest adult friends and family to make space for our cousins' kids. After a 2-hour phone call, involving me repeating myself several times that we were not going to make an exception for entitled parent's kid, and listening to threats of family members not coming if we don't make an exception, things calmed down and went quiet. For a while. We sent out the save the dates by email about 10 months before the wedding to make sure everyone had time to sort their travel plans, since for my family this would be a destination wedding. The day after the emails were sent, I get a text from entitled parent which read,
Did you just forget to send me an email? Or are you just being presumptuous because I have a kid?
I was taken aback by this because I thought it had already been sorted out and explained. After some more rude texts, I sent entitled parent a screenshot of the email I had in fact sent to them, including the timestamp for evidence. All they said was,
Well, what is the age limit anyway?
No apology, just trying to pick a fight. I ignored the message. Things went quiet again, until the invites went out. Lo and behold, I get more messages from entitled parent. Here is a paraphrased version of the things that were said across several conversations with both entitled parent and a few other family members who seemed to think that my partner and I were in the wrong, all just lumped in under entitled parent for brevity.
Are you really not going to make any exceptions? I don't want to leave my baby at home.
Why can't the kid's father take care of him while you come to the ceremony?
Because we both want to come and bring our baby. Why can't we?
Because there's a limit on how many guests we can have.
But infants surely don't take up any room. What's your problem?
They still take up a seat. And how would we explain it to the other parents who have made childcare arrangements or chosen not to come because of the no kids rule?
If there are no other kids coming, then there is space for my kid.
That isn't how any of this works.
Isn't there any part of the event where kids are welcome?
I'm ignoring the blatant attempt at emotional manipulation.
No. Fine then. We won't come.
Okay. Not the most exciting entitled parent story of all time, I know, but it caused a lot of angst between a few members of my family and my partner and I. All of our other family members with children either outright said that they wouldn't be able to come because of the rule or made childcare arrangements. It was only this one entitled parent who made a fuss and dragged other family members into it. My partner and I believe that it is 100% each individual's choice whether they want to attend a wedding or not, and we are not offended that entitled parent and some other family members decided not to come and instead want to stay at home with their kids. What we didn't appreciate was the unnecessary moaning and general entitled behavior that was thrown our way. Entitled parent's kid really is lovely and sweet, having now met them a few times, and things are fine between us and my family now, but it felt tense and unnecessarily upsetting for far too long, all over something as simple as, yes, the no kids rule includes your kids. Next we've got entitled parent thinks dog hurt her kid. Hey Mr. Reddit, I love watching your videos every day. This is my first time posting a story like this, so sorry if my editing or grammar is bad. This happened last week, but I wanted to wait till everything was settled before telling the story. Also, sorry if it's a bit long. Our cast. We've got me. We've got Sumo. No lines, but he is in the story. We've got Good Kid. We've got Entitled Mom. We've got the actual criminal. And the cop. So, I'm on my usual walk with my dog, Sumo. He is a Samoyed, and most see him as a bit too hyper. But that's only because he is a big fluff ball that's still young. He just turned 2. As we go along, I hear a kid screeching and look around a bit confused. Sumo goes nuts hearing it too. Sadly, I am a petite lady, so he breaks free while thrashing around. I panic and chase him. Sumo! No! Bad dog! He went into an open yard and I was hesitant to follow, but I assumed he was just after whoever was screaming. I go up the drive carefully, yelling, "Hello? I'm just after my dog." Then I see this kid who's maybe 5 or 6, thrashing in this massive man's arms. The kid's the one screeching. I had no clue who this man was or why this kid was acting like this. I decided just to ignore it and go to Sumo. He is barking and trying to get the kid. I look around, baffled as I grab his leash and try my best to drag the dog off. "Sorry about this, sir." "No! Stranger! He is stranger!" I freeze and stare at this man as he moves back, my dog barking and trying to get back to the kid. The man says, "Don't listen to him. He's just mad I won't let him pet your dog." I squint a bit as we could hear the screams for a good minute before. He was screaming before my dog got here, though. "Well, that's because he dropped his ice cream." "He made me drop it. Stranger danger!" I sighed a bit and stood there awkwardly. I have met some very jerky kids that would do stuff like this, but at the time, this didn't feel right. "Look, it's okay to let him down. My dog's big, but he is friendly." "I don't think so. He is going to be punished for throwing a fit. Now get out of my yard." The strange man moved back from me again. If I bothered him so much, why not just go inside the house? "Look, I don't know you or this kid, but if you are only holding him because of my dog, then put him down." The man froze and the kid kept screaming loudly. How neighbors didn't come out, I will never know. The man then went to sprint off, kid still in his arms. I stare a bit, shocked, and let the dog I have go, knowing he can catch up faster than me. Sumo jumped and knocked the man to his side. "Get this dog off me!" The kid kicks the man hard, and he finally lets go. The kid bolts to his house, and I don't blame him. I stare at the man, absolutely livid. "What the heck is wrong with you? Why the heck were you in this yard? Who the heck are you?" Each question I gave got louder and louder. Soon I hear a car pull up, and hear what I thought was a worried parent, but I soon find out it's an entitled one. "What the heck are you both doing in my yard? Get that filthy mutt out of here. I am allergic. Allergic!" "I can't do that. He's keeping this man here." "Man? I don't care about that man. I want you and your mutt out of my yard. Now!" "Lady, please. That guy was messing with your kid." "My baby? You? That man? And your mutt hurt my baby?" "No, only him." Before I can explain, 2 cop cars pull up. I stare, baffled, and even entitled mom looks over to them. "Oh, what the heck? I didn't call you." Cop says, "A neighbor did, miss. They said they heard your kid yelling." I sighed a bit, glad neighbors had done something, But the fact they waited so long, sad. Oh, thank goodness. This man here is dangerous.
Yes, and so is her filthy mutt. Get it out of my yard, now.
Lady, for the last time, my dog didn't hurt your kid. He saved him.
A filthy mutt saved my baby? Nonsense. Get them out. Out!
The cop says, Ma'am, please calm down. He moved my dog off the man and cuffed him. Then he went to cuff me. Sorry, miss, but since she is the homeowner, we have to believe her story. But I didn't do anything. Just as they begin to move me away, the kid bolts back out. Wait, she didn't do anything. The cop paused and the mom glared at the kid.
Sweetie, the grown-ups are talking. Go back inside.
No, that lady and her doggy stopped the bad man.
She must have told you to say that. Her filthy mutt's dangerous. It attacked this man, after all.
The cops looked at each other, and the cop that cuffed me told me to wait for about 5 minutes. He went to neighbors and asked them. Both said all they saw was my dog jump on the man in the yard. When the cop told the mom this.
I still want to charge her for trespassing. She shouldn't have been in my yard.
Seriously, lady? If my dog hadn't ran back here, your kid would have been in trouble.
Yeah, she helped me, Mommy.
I don't care. Get out of my yard. And you, back inside.
The kid just stood there crossing his arms. The cop that had me sighed. Look, miss, we understand you are upset, but what if we just ticket her?
Fine, whatever. Just get out.
She then picked up her kid.
And you, next time listen to Mummy, and don't go outside without a grown-up ever again.
Okay, Mommy. Bye, nice lady. Bye, Mutt.
I wondered what kind of parent leaves a kid alone, then gets mad they decide to go outside. I also wanted to be mad he called my dog a mutt, but it was pretty cute. I then got the ticket from the cops just before she closed herself into her house. Sorry about that. Some people are just ungrateful. You can take your dog. Just be more careful. Some jerks would make sure your dog got put down for attacking the creep it pinned. Trust me, I have seen it. I stared in shock and nodded. I had never been so grateful to be put in handcuffs. He quickly undid them and cut them away. Thanks, officer. But what about the fine? Do I really have to pay it? I didn't put a fine amount and just wrote it for show. Head on home while we finish things off here. And so I did. Then the entitled mom came to apologize, but only because her precious baby kept asking her to. He was there too and gave me a hug. She said I could come by any time, just no dogs. I shrugged a bit and told her it was fine. I was just glad he was safe. And our final story of the day. Entitled Brat Won't Move, gets a face full of manure, then accidentally got entitled Mom. Hello, Mr. Reddit. I have been watching your videos since mid-May. Now my cousin gave me permission to post this as it involves both of us. Not on mobile. English is my native language. Grammar not so good, as Ralph Wiggum from The Simpsons would say, me fail English, that's impossible. Let's start off with a little background. My uncle was a farmer and raised pigs. Sometime in the late 90s, my aunt and uncle divorced. It was quick, and my cousin stayed with his dad, my uncle. Now, my uncle dated several women over the few years. Some were nice, some not so. But this one woman had 2 kids. Both were entitled. 1 boy and 1 girl. 1 male and 1 female. The 3 of them gave us no end of troubles every time we were working on the farm. He would go on to marry the woman in 2006. Why, I don't know. But on with the story. For the cast, we have... forget it. We all know the names by now. This happened in the summer of 2004. The 2 of us wanted to go fishing, so we got the bright idea to go out to the farm and hit several places where we knew would be worms and crickets. Sue us, we were cheap back then, just being 22. So we head on out to the farm, mind you, it's early, like 5 a.m. For my uncle, cousin, and myself, this is nothing new due to our jobs not necessarily dealing with working on the farm. My uncle was happy to see us, though he knew we were coming over. So by the time we get there, it's nearly 7:30. Boys, I could use some help, he said. Oh, cousin said, and just raised an eyebrow. Yeah, I'm going to move several sows and their piglets from the rearing chambers to a new stall on the other side of the farm. The chamber needs to be cleaned. Help, and I'll throw in $50 each. We're in, we both said at the same time. The move took an hour, a half a bottle of aspirin between the three of us due to the high-pitched squeals of pigs when you move them via a small trailer. With that done, my uncle goes off to do something near the house while I wait for my cousin to show up with a tractor and a manure spreader. So he shows up and we get to work shoveling. Not halfway through, the brat shows her face.
You two stink,
she said. Really? My cousin asked, sniffing his pits. I'm not surprised. It's a hot day.
No, you smell like poo.
She said something else, but I'm keeping this clean. Really? I drawled out.
You won't catch me in there cleaning that stuff.
Well, if you don't move, you're going to be wearing it, I said.
You wouldn't dare.
He would.
I don't believe it. Uncle won't allow it, she said.
Please move. If you don't, he's going to throw that full shovel of crap on you, cousin stated. She folded her arms and smirked at us. So I shared a look with my cousin. With a shrug of his shoulders, I rear back the shovel, making it look like I was going to drop the load back on the ground. Nope. I flung it out the door and all over the brat. It went all over her. It was in her hair. It was at this time that she let out a blood-curdling scream and ran off. Should have listened, I said. Cousin only sighed. Several minutes later, entitled Mom shows up. We didn't know it as she had approached the same door her daughter did and got a surprise when my cousin threw another shovel full of it out. We stood there surprised. She came out of nowhere and was in the process of saying something, but was now throwing up, I assume from the smell, but I suspect some may have gotten into her mouth. Then tries to run off, but was dry heaving along the way. We were done with the chamber around 10:30 to 11 a.m. and spread everything around an unused area as pig manure is too acidic for crops. So we drop off the spreader in the shed and head off to find my uncle, who was trying so hard to maintain a stern face, but was failing. He was more amused than anything. What happened with Brad and Mom? He asked. So we told him the truth. It was at this point he lost it and started laughing hard. You know your dad would have done the same thing, he told me. He's right, my dad would have. Both of us got the $50 plus another $50 for teaching the two entitled jerks a lesson on farming, especially when poo is being flung. Both have left us alone every time we worked the farm up until a year's stay in DOC and my uncle's death in 2014. Edit. We did go fishing and had a nice fish fry for dinner that night. Edit 2. Birthing and rearing chambers were like maybe 400 to 500 yards from the house. And congrats to our Regenerals of the day, the Beyblade Master, Jesse the Fennec Fox, Paranoia, and KC Cat 5. Become tomorrow's Regenerals by dropping as many Rees as you can in the comments below.